to everyone. I'm Anna from Pause and Rock, and I'm really glad and pleased and surprised to have with us Krista from Dialith. First of all, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm happy really to make this new to have a Sunday evening with a woman. It's really chilling, and really because of course we're doing this interview about the upcoming release of Alter, which is let me say in the 5th of April.
Mhm.
Already you released the first single that we mentioned before, but of course, Krista, before just digging about as well, like these changes throughout the years of the music and the sound and the classical interview question, I want to ask about your musical background because of course you are a musician, you're a singer, it's you, Krista. But who are, I mean, before joining Dialith, who are you? Which is your background? Are you started as a kid, just as from.
Yeah, so I have been singing my whole life. I started singing in choirs when I was very, very young. I've had some lessons, not a ton. I've had some lessons in classical and then again in like rock. Um, and Other than that, I play some piano. Not very well, but I do play some.
Always by yourself, or you took lessons?
I took lessons.
Okay.
I took lessons. I mostly wanted to learn my whole reason for taking piano was to learn more music theory.
Yeah.
The guitarist of Dialith, Alistair, he is the one who writes most of the music, and I just wanted to be able to, help out. And
Ah, sure.
he's very talented, and I don't think I'll ever be at his level, but I definitely wanted to just,
Yeah.
give him something to work with.
Yeah, of course. And I mean, like, just find out about your voice. Of course, it's something that you always have to train, because
Yes.
especially in this field of metal, when it's symphonic, when it's like, like almost like a fairy tale, something like that, we can say you have to train because it's your voice that carries, let's say, the
Yeah.
listener throughout the music. There's some of course like as well, like someone that was inspired by, you were inspired by, like to, like, I don't want to say copy because it's always your own voice,
Mhm.
your influence. But there was really someone that growing up, even when you were just as little teenager, little kid, that you were inspired by as a especially singer, female
Yeah.
singer is better if there is one.
Yeah, so I started listening or getting into like all of those symphonic bands that were coming around at the time. So like there
Yeah.
was that explosion of
Yeah.
like symphonic metal bands. Like there was Nightwish and Epica and Xandria and Tristania and Theater of Tragedy, all of those.
Theater of
Um,
Tragedy, I remember them. I
yeah.
remember.
Yeah, so they were I guess Theater of Tragedy and Tristania were a bit earlier. But I really started get into them first Nightwish and Within Temptation, and
Yeah,
then I found some of the others. So obviously, as a like a 14, 15-year old,
yeah, sure.
Tarja Turunen was still in Nightwish, so like she was the one everybody looked up to. Also Floor Jansen at the time from After Forever,
Yeah.
Simone Simmons from Epica. Very like all of these singers were really inspiring to me as like a early teenager and definitely as a later teenager too.
Yeah, of course, that were the main like influences as well. But how you keep still, because of course, like performing live, singing,
Oh
practice,
yes,
rehearsal every time. It's like your voice is always likely to be on training.
yes.
Of course, always maybe, and people will might ask you like all the time, which is your secret? How do you keep, like, how do you train your voice? How do you keep your voice like smooth? Because of course, this genre is not easy to keep. So it's like
Oh yeah.
a gift, yeah, like a treasure that you have to save.
Definitely, you just got to do it every single day. So I try to sing every day. I sing when I'm commuting to work. I sing when I'm like just in the kitchen cooking. You run through different like vocal warm-ups. It's not really my favorite thing to
Yeah.
do. I think it's a little boring, but like you have to do it.
Yeah.
And then I also just like to sing whatever I'm listening to at the time, and I like to try different things. So
Yeah.
like I like to try the stuff that's like very high up in that soprano range, and I also really try much more recently to use the more chest or mixed voice.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of work, and we can say that it doesn't come easy. Like you wake up and you start to sing like that. But tell me, Mike, as well in Dialith, how did you? Of course, it's a we're saying that we're saying the first EP came out in 2017, but how everything started, like how you join them, how you get in touch with all of them, you introduce as well the other guys involved in the band.
Yeah. Yeah. So Dialith started in 2015. It was just me and Alistair, the guitarist,
Okay.
at the time. Basically, I had just graduated from college. I was back home. I didn't know, like everyone I had known in high school had obviously like moved away. And I was like a little lost. I didn't really have a career yet. And being in a band was something I'd always wanted to do. So I posted I don't know if you have this in Italy, but Craigslist.
Yeah,
It's
I know what is
yeah,
Douglas. Yeah, yeah, I know. It's
yeah.
kind of similar,
Um,
but yeah, I know.
Yeah. Yeah. So I posted, I know it has like a weird reputation, but I did meet my band through it. So I posted this ad on Craigslist. I was like, I want to start a band. Alistair, who lived in the next town over, and he was only a year older than me, and he answered. We got together. We liked all the same music. He had already had a couple of things written for a project he may have wanted to start.
Yeah.
I don't, and so that's how he and I met. It was just the two of us for like
Okay.
2 years, and
Oh,
then we found Cullen, who plays drums, through mutual friends, and Mark, who plays bass through mutual friends as well.
so no more Craigslist. No more
No more
Craigslist.
Craigslist. Yeah.
But at least you see, you can say that you just said something which is good. Like Craigslist is not always that brings bad thing. Sometimes it
Yeah.
be helpful. It depends, maybe
Yeah.
in
Sometimes it's
area.
helpful.
Yeah. Yeah, we have something similar in Italy. It says you have to be really careful what you're looking for. Like it's like the black market.
Yeah, really. It's a scary place. I found my first apartment on Craigslist too.
Oh my God. I hope it was
Yeah.
okay. I hope it was okay.
Yeah, it was actually fine. Yeah.
I mean, you are the lucky one. You are like, I am the expert of Craigslist for Krista for such for advertising.
Yeah.
Like you can be like a PR for Craigslist. Okay, this is the this is the right things to look. This is not good. Okay, like an announcement. If you look something in Craigslist, reach out to Krista. She's
Yes, exactly. I can tell the scams.
the second career, the investigator. Of course, but coming up, like, of course, like I said, you met all the guys and you started to basically go throughout the first EP, which was Throughout Stone, immediately. That was it. You put it outside. So, of course, I mean, you released the full length as well a couple of years later. There is an other EP has been released. But what I want really, to make like a kind of difference is when you release your first EP, and then you go throughout the first full length, which is Extinction 6.
Mhm.
Of course, the first EP is always, let's say, I don't want to say raw, but it's like, the first experience, you were just recording all together, see how it goes outside, how people react. And then you go in the first full length. I mean, how was that process for you? Like, and going throughout the first EP, throughout the first full length, which changes you could see?
So going from Three Stone to Extinction 6 was quite a departure. Extinction 6 is an incredibly ambitious album, especially for a band that wasn't signed, that doesn't have like label backing.
Yeah.
And so Through Stone, it does have 3 songs on it.
Okay.
That are on the full album, and they're actually changed quite a bit.
Okay.
So the three songs that are on Through Stone, do end up on the album, and they're changed. I actually re-recorded vocals for two of them. We sent the mixing and mastering was originally just done by Alistair. But the mixing and mastering for Extinction 6, we worked with Jacob Hansen, who's worked with Unleash the Archers, Camelot. Yeah.
That's a really ambitious album.
It was a very ambitious album. Oh, I'm sorry.
I mean, you need ambition for succeeding in music, otherwise it's not easy.
Yeah. Yeah. So even the first song, so Emergence, which is like the intro song, a lot of symphonic metal bands do that, like intro or orchestral intro. Francesco Farini from Flesh God Apocalypse actually did some of the strings on that.
You see, there is a connection from Italy. We know that was meant to be. We know what we're talking about. The other people will never know. But there was a connection meant to be.
It was, yes. Yeah, so it was a really ambitious album. It really we really wanted to keep that level of quality going. Unfortunately, just as a smaller band, we don't have, and still unsigned, we don't have the kind of financial backing. So we decided to do the next album in chunks, which I think is pretty common now.
Yeah. It is. And maybe let's say one of the first bands to start to do that, because I'm starting to interviewing bands. I'm starting to see they are starting to release EP or even single now, or maybe a couple of months ago. You started in 2021 with Atrophy.
So yes.
You had perhaps there are other bands, but let's say that I am aware you were one of the first. So you thought about this idea, which is good, because in a kind of way it gives you save a little bit of money, but you put music out. But as well, maybe, who knows, maybe in the future, if fan might ask you, we might collect everything in one big thing, who knows. So you were saying about releasing this, which is the further release, the next release is our, of course, Atrophy.
Yes. So the first release is Atrophy. So it's the first of a series of 3 EPs, and then we'll be collecting them into a final album.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's Atrophy was released back in 2021. It, by its name, it's more about like staying in your comfort zone. It's really about, it's a very kind of dark EP. It's very like emotionally dark. It's very heavy metal, of course.
Okay.
But then with the one that is coming out on April 5th, Alter, it is more about transformation. So we wanted to do this series about like, staying in one place, transformation, and then coming to a conclusion.
That's a beautiful way of thought, because of someone could just say, okay, I'm releasing, I don't know, the first EP, we just it's a face in the darkness, and that's it. Another, you release a beautiful idea. This is a really beautiful idea, like only for, I don't know, get out of the comfort zone, one for transformation, and one for like being who you are, or whatever is the next topic. It's just like a process.
Yes.
But you have to go in step. Just first, it's kind of a healing thing. And it's perfect aligned with the full moon of tonight. Because tonight we have a full moon with the eclipse. So it's perfect. Everything is aligned. You see, it was meant to be.
Yes. And speaking of, if you've looked at the covers, Atrophy it has a winter scene, and Alter has a spring scene, spring and summer, and then for the conclusion, it'll be one other season.
Okay, so and of course I'm not gonna ask you when the third EP is gonna be released, but if you're going seasonally, I might think maybe in next autumn, or I mean, because you don't want to make winter, spring, and summer. Maybe autumn is the changing or the rebirth or something.
Which is spring, and it's spring now here in the States.
Let's say that we are kind of enjoying the spring, because you're from the East Coast, so let's say that we have kind of similar temperatures are going around. Right now it's in Fahrenheit, it can be, I don't know, 90, 94. It's
Oh,
it's,
wow.
it's a little bit warm, yeah. So I don't know how much is there, but let's say there's snow melted in the mountain.
Yeah.
For sure. And of course, like, I mean, like you were seeing, I mean, these are kind of let's say bold, brave, and deep topic to face, like from atrophy and alter. So going through the writing of atrophy is really deep, because you're writing like deep thought, and maybe even facing, I don't know, inner challenges, and especially that you released that EP in a perfect moment, because we were out of our comfort zone from after the whatever
Yeah.
so it was at the perfect time as well. And and of course, like so we can say that it's not like a concept album, of course, because being a concept album, it would mean just all put in one. It's just, but we can say that they have one topic for each EP.
Yes.
So now from Alter, since there is the single Shadow Dancer, really, you're thinking about releasing some other single before the release of the EP, or is gonna go straight with the EP?
So we're gonna release the EP on in April. So we're not planning on doing another single before the EP, but we do have a big festival coming up in Wisconsin called Mad with Power. And we're hoping to get some footage from there and release sort of like a live single. Yeah.
You're playing there?
Yes, yeah.
Well, congratulations. I mean, it's
Oh, thank you.
I mean, this, like you mentioned, is a great festival, and talking about as well some about the live scene. There are some live show that you already have planned apart this festival that you mentioned. I don't know, even throughout states or throughout the East Coast or Connecticut, for what you can say, of course, because some things we know we can't say it. So.
Yeah, so Dialith doesn't play too many shows.
Okay.
We are more of a release focused band.
Okay.
We're hoping to get we're hoping to put on a show this summer. But nothing solid yet. I'm just in contact with a few venues, so unfortunately I don't have any more information.
Okay, this is only this let's say release festival that you're playing.
Yeah, it's not really a release festival because it'll be maybe a month or so after, but still a way to celebrate.
Yeah, but it's beautiful. But like, I mean, at least for each one of you, you're thinking to do some kind of even a small party between guys from the band to just play the release party, the release of the album.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, it's important, even between all of you, the release of the EP. And like focusing on Alter. I mean, of course, Alter and Atrophy, we can put it, let's say, a little bit closer as a maybe sound. They are kind of similar, or even if the sound changed with the lyric wise. For example, sound wise, lyric wise, they change. Maybe it's in the comfort zone, it's a little bit, let's say, more melancholic or tough and heavier, and maybe Alter changes a little bit. I mean, there is changes in that, or it keeps the same, let's say, sound.
So Alter is very different from Atrophy. Alter takes a lot of inspiration from a lot of different music. Shadow Dancer in particular is extremely different from anything we've ever done. Yes, it is. It's very Middle Eastern inspired, so it has that like Phrygian dominant modal sound. And then it has a very long drum solo. So there's a 1.5 minute long drum solo in Shadow Dancer.
It's almost having some folk inspiration.
Yes.
That's beautiful, like some song, so let's say folk, shamanic, something like that influences.
Yeah, definitely like ancient. When I wrote the lyrics, I was thinking about the ancient Near East, like Mesopotamian mythology. And there's Writhing Red, which is the opener on the album. It's very Celtic inspired. So it's got like some Irish flutes, it's got a fiddle. Yeah, it's a I mean, that's all elements that we have used before, but they really come to the forefront in those two songs. And Ironbound has a saxophone solo. So
So you have a lot of elements. I'm really like okay. I'm like I'm blown away. I'm blown away because
oh, thank you.
it's not so common you hear. I mean, I think there are. Like I said, we don't know all the band in the world, so just don't generalizing. But at least for I can't happen to just a band which is let's say labeled by the website or whatsoever press, maybe symphonic metal, having this topic like Mesopotamic and even 1 minute and a half of drumming, and then having an Irish inspired music, and then a solo sax. It's something that you can classify. Something that so congratulations for that, because it's not bold, it's not brave, but it's beautiful. Because
Thank you. Thank you.
you gave taste, and as well inspiration for looking for different culture, different.
Yes.
And of course, it's spontaneous to me to ask you if there are any other cultures that you are, because of course this shows that you have an interest in that. Otherwise, you just could have put it just, I don't know, Scottish or Irish. That's it.
Yeah.
You looked out for other, I don't know, culture that inspires you, maybe, or will inspire you in the future.
So my father's side of my family is Lebanese. So that's sort of like a little bit of that came through. That's definitely something I would like to learn more about. I'm not super I don't know a lot about it currently, so I would like to, kind of connect with that a bit more.
Yeah, sure.
As far as other cultures that interest me, lots of other cultures. I love to read about, in particular, ancient cultures.
Yeah.
Um, so Indian culture I find very fascinating, like the Indian mythology. Um, there's quite a bit that I find very, very interesting.
And let's hope that with even with the third EP of this, let's say, I don't know to call it, this healing process, this transformation process, you can bring, I don't know, even other elements, other
Yeah.
expression, because that's gonna be really interesting to face, this our inner transformation with different sound, because you're using as well, even when you're drumming or when you're playing other instrument, you're doing, which is called sound healing. So you're
Yeah.
helping the listener to really go deep with your music, so they can dance, they can rest, they can just do whatever they want, but kind of helping. So it's really impressive to see that. So I don't know how you're still not signed with any label, because that's big, and then it's not easy, because I can imagine as well it can be challenging, like for example, like you said, putting different influences from cultures, or let's say in music as well, in a one EP. It's a lot in one EP, so it can be like challenging, but
Yes.
you did it, and it's brave, and I think they should be rewarded somehow. So
Thank
I
you.
wish you luck for that. I wish all the best, and if you need any help, just call me, or just send a message. We're gonna make something for sure. It's really interesting, and of course, like, this is 2024. We can say it's 11 year of activity of the band.
9 years. Good for 2015. Yeah, 9 years.
10 years, yeah. So yeah, you're right. My math is bad.
That's all good. I'm terrible at math.
How, I mean, how are you could have imagined to go through all these? Because, like you said, everything started with an advertise on Craigslist, and today you're here about sharing this journey, having this beautiful idea of splitting an album in 3 parts, and in a journey, in a process. Have you ever could imagine like all of these changes, doing it so much, such much by your own?
I think I hoped. Yeah, I think I hoped a lot. I'm very grateful to be here, 9 years later, I'm still working with the same people, which is a big thing. We're all very good friends. We all hang out all the time. So like that was also a big thing, because we're like, I think music is a very social thing. And it was really warms my heart to think that, like, I made these friends, these really close friends, through music. And it's yeah, and you get to share something with those people.
Yeah, because it's like, I mean, because it's not even easy keeping the same lineup for
Yes.
9 years. I mean, you should guys have really be really united, like a family nowadays.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's the beauty of it. Because what, for example, this feeling that you have since you started, like this connection that you guys had, it grows up. So you can say maybe there was some changes of influences because someone new joined. It's always you. If there is influence, just came from you. So these
Yeah.
are beautiful things. And but between all this song, because of course, someone new came across and say, "Oh, I'm really interested in Dialith, but I don't know where to start." Where to start. So, in your opinion, like, of course, that's always taking your personal advices, Krista. Which I don't want to maybe song that you would really like, or album EP. Just it's up to you to suggest them to start to listen, to get to know the sound of the core, the essence, whatever we want to call it, of Dialith.
So back when we released Extinction 6,
Okay.
we released our single called Sound of Your Voice. I think that song is very representative of Dialith.
Okay.
It was written to kind of hook people in. That was sort of its
Yeah.
purpose. Shadow Dancer, which I love, and is the newest single. It was written in the spirit of being a bit different and taking a few chances.
Yeah.
But Sound of Your Voice, I think, is a representative of what Dialith sounds like.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. And if we could really like use an adjective or a quote or a sentence, it's up to you to describe as well the core of Dialith.
Dialith is a symphonic power metal band that takes influences from everything we can possibly think of, from the seasons changing to different types of instruments, and we try to formulate it into one project.
It's beautiful, and then you can feel it. And I'm gonna definitely immediately just take a look for to listen to Atrophy, because I think to get to know especially the good better alter, we have to listen as well Atrophy before.
Yes.
So then we can make a kind of process, and we are ready, because we listen alter, but we are already out of the comfort zone, but we need to face the process, so we have to start from there. And of course, alter is going to be released just in a digital format, or is going to be as well a physical format?
Physical format as well. So digitally, it'll be on Spotify, Apple Music, all of that.
Okay.
And physical format, we have digipacks.
Okay, so and people can find all through that through your website, web Bandcamp.
Yes, we have a website. It's www.dialith.band. We
Okay.
also have a Bandcamp. So if you just search Dialith on Bandcamp, you can find all our stuff
I'll
there.
put everything, and I mean, like all the links, Instagram, Facebook, we'll put everything there so people can. So the pre-order are open still. The
Pre-orders are still open.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so Krista, it was really a pleasure. Like I say, we have the things happen for a reason always, like I said, and I'm really happy just to have met you. And like just said, 5th of April, Alter is gonna be out, and people can just look at your website and Bandcamp and just go there. But in the meantime, they can even go to listen to the first single, or even all the other. Just go. They still have the time to catch up with the previous one, because they got together. Let's not forget. So they have still the time.
Yeah.
And of course, thank you so much for everything and for the time, and then and just was really a pleasure meeting you, and looking forward after to do, I don't know, maybe for the third, this one we planned to get for the third we're gonna do a huge, like updating about the 3 peat together.
Yeah, it was great. It was great talking to you. Thank you so much.
Me too. Thank you for everything. Have a good rest of the day, and
You
of the
too.
Sunday, and really hope to see you. I don't know. I don't know if we saw live, but in another interview, let's say.
Yeah. Yes. Okay. Thank you so much. It was great talking to you.
Me too. Bye, Krista.
Bye.